And we are live. Hola, Luis. Let me know you can see my chart. And let me know audio's okay on YouTube. YouTube. You guys in the live room, you can't see my charts. Yet. Audio's good, no charts yet. Okay. 1 minute. You see my charts? Awesome. Cool, cool. Then no need to change anything. I thought I needed to. There's a slight delay on YouTube, so don't be freaked out by it. Good to see you. I don't see you, but you know what I mean. Pretty wild week coming, I think. Should be interesting. We could get a good dip. I think so far it is a reason to buy the dip, but we'll chat. Get ready to chart. So figure out what tickers you guys want to review. We may have some outsiders. By that I mean guests from outside world, not members. But that's the point. We usually do our charting session. We missed it. Wow, look at all this mess. I need to clean out my charts. Done. Okay. The VIX is trying to make a run for it. There's a discrepancy between the VIX and the VIX for the NASDAQ. One made higher highs and the other one did not. We'll see who actually was making sense. I was looking at Facebook, Meta stock. It's up like 70% year to date. Yikes. That one should be interesting. I was talking with the gang over the weekend. Buenos dias. We had a pretty successful in-person seminar. And we were talking about, I mentioned how I have a few crypto about the metaverse, and one of them was flying high, even when Bitcoin was falling this weekend. So I wonder if there's news from Meta on the metaverse. I wonder if that's why it's been rallying like crazy. If anyone knows about the subject, please enlighten us. I am a crypto guy, but I have questions all over the place. So we have about 25 people. I posted on Twitter. If you saw my post on Twitter, retweet so that it gathers steam, so it trends, so we get more people in here. And if you're in here, hit likes, as many likes as you want. Be better than the last session. The last session they were hitting like they went off the chain. Give me tickers. Let's start a list. Okay, Home Depot. What else? Snow. What else? That's it. We finished the internet. No questions? KRE. Okay, I'm interested in KRE. Morning, morning. WYNN and CLF. AMD, Microsoft. AMD will do. Microsoft, whatever I say doesn't matter. It's earnings, so flip a coin. Get a shiny coin. Okay, I got Baba. Bill. Alright. Neither of those are quality tickers. By quality, I mean predictability. It's hard to predict these two. Should we avoid earning tickers this week? So Josh, I don't want you to avoid them. I want you to know that there's a lot of, hey Peter, we're charting on YouTube. So join us on YouTube for this morning. We'll come back here for the live session. I'll put BIDU on the list. And American Express. I want you to avoid them. I want you to know that there's a lot of coin flip reaction. FRC, okay. We're doing KRE, so FRC will be similar. What else? That's a lot of tickers, but we'll try to do as many as we can. Energy transfer partners, is that what that is? Will do. If you're new here, say hi. And if you end up liking what you see here, say like. Oh, hi Kevin. And subscribe to the channel on YouTube, it's free. And hit the bell so you can notify it. We're going to do this a couple times a week. We do this for the members all day, every day, live. Not on YouTube, but live. We trade the market every day. We do pretty well. I love the name Firefly Trades. There used to be a show called Firefly. Sci-fi show. Pretty good. I wish they bring him back. Iron Condor. Oof. On that ticker. I know, Luis, right? They took it away. I like how they cuss in half Chinese, half American, which was a political statement back then. They had American accents, and then once in a while they just throw in some Chinese cuss words for some reason. Amazon, did I put it on the list? I put it on the list. I got it. Thank you so much for putting it all together. I made a list. It's right here. Good morning, Dina, and welcome. Hopefully we attract some non-members in here, so we would have a good time with it. Hi, Joseph. NVDA, okay. We'll see how many we can do. We can chart here until the bell, and then we have to switch over to members-only content in our live trading room. Hi, Chris. Shopify, okay. I had a whole bunch of trades for us that expired worthless in our favor for this week, so I may want to renew all of these. I think the Chevron short, for example, expired. Either that or I closed it. I can't remember for a win. Whole bunch, which is a good feeling. So now we can reset some good trades. I'm getting ready to get long some good tech tickers if they get hammered. Like for example, Apple Wolf Wave shows a 5% drop potential in the next couple of days, or 3 days, or 4 days. If that happens, I'm not running for the hills, right? That's when everybody else will be running for the hills. I'll evaluate the opportunity to catch the falling knife, as they say. All right, we have 3 more minutes and we'll officially start charting, because that's what I promised everyone. So I'll go tweet it again. Two minutes till start of Salut Mark. Home, is that a ticker? Is that a ticker? I don't remember charting a home chart. Unless you're answering somebody's question. Hello, Brendan. Good morning, order flows. So far, we have a long list of tickers that you guys submitted. And let's see if we can hit all of them. This is them. Whoa, why would it do that? Sorry, that's a long word. I had spaces, I promise. So Home Depot, Snow, KRE, WYNN, CLF, AMD, Microsoft, BABA, Bill, American Express, BIDU, FRC, ET, 3M, Amazon, NVDA, and Shop. This would be a nice game show. Guess the tickers. Give them one long one like this one. Separate the tickers. Like the license plate reading one. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the like button. And if you don't subscribe to our channel on YouTube, believe it or not, we have like 6,500 subscribers there. Be one of them. This way, if I go live and you don't know about it, you'll get notified. Yeah, I'm not going to entertain BBBY. With all due respect. That is junk. Do they have a coupon still out? I drove by one the other day on my way to Best Buy. Isn't that weird? Best Buy and BBBY are down the street from each other around my house. Like maybe 100 yards. Okay, we can start charting. I don't know. They should have done it a long time ago, but they were in denial that their business is dying. All right, we can start charting. Okay, first of all, the rules of engagement for this week is that we've been fighting for these levels for a long time, maybe more than a year at one point or another. So we had this fight about a year ago. We lost it, and we've come back to it, and for the last many weeks we've been fighting for this. So the big picture is this is a place of where we should stall, and we have stalled. So once we take out this zone, plus or minus, we can take off. And if we dip without any new shoes to drop, without any problems like as big as the financial crisis that came out in March, then we should go up and clear this area eventually. The earnings might be the deciding factor. we have the biggest companies on the planet reporting this week and next. And then next week, I think we have the Fed decision, which will cause temporary disruptions. So basically, we have hundreds of points below the S&P right now of scattered support. And we have 70 points before a major breakout. Let's see what happens first. Shorter term, if you want round numbers, on the 41 on the SPX is just the round numbers. 41, 42. That's the battle. You clear 42, you're gone. You drop before 41. We have more support below that, but that's the short-term line right now. And we do have huge companies reporting this week. My fear is a lot of them are extended. Let's use the biggest one that is extended the most, I should say, and that's Meta. Meta is up 70%, maybe more this year. Okay. So let's jump into this is the futures contract, so the S&P for this morning, 5 minutes. Okay, so we can just jump into the questions that came in this morning. Home Depot. So Home Depot is recovering off of a good support zone. I say zone because we do have a line around 280, but we have many more supports below it. Kind of the same story of the S&P, really. And if you consider this one, by the way, the NASDAQ already broke out from its February highs. The S&P has not. That's what it's fighting for. This looks more like the NASDAQ. It broke out from the recent fails, and it looks like an inverse head and shoulders of sorts. So unobstructed by market conditions, it should reach 310. Okay, so if I'm long, I would stay long. If I took a long as a trade, I would book profits and leave runners. If I'm looking to get long, I can get long on dips. So if it falls towards 296, 295, 294, I would be more inclined to get long rather than get out or short. So if it comes down to below 295, I would be tempted to sell a credit put spread in it. I believe we had a trade on Home Depot, and I don't remember anybody asking me questions, so we must have made money on it. Let's see here. Home Depot, it's gone, so it must have expired worthless because I don't remember any drama. So this is the Home Depot deal. If I'm long, they look like they cleared these, and if they have, let's say this, if it goes above 303, it's going to continue on to bleed higher, maybe cover the gap towards 315. How about that? Okay, now anytime I answer your question on a ticker and you don't hit the like button or the thumbs down button, then why are you here? So do me a favor, give me feedback so I do better if we fell short. Okay, snow. We do have a snow trade on also. Let me double check. A credit put spread, which is a bullish trade that doesn't need a rally to win, and it's winning. So if you close it, that's fine. If I'm looking to enter long, I want to get long down in this area. So if it falls into 138, I'd be happy with that. Meanwhile, right now it's stuck. You have a big seller at 149 and change, and a lot of buyers below 138. So you have support below, trying to recover better levels higher. So 150, 149 is a hiccup area. 153, another hiccup area, meaning there should be sellers there, and anything above 156. If by some miracle they clear 160, okay, we can start talking about upside here. But for now, you have a higher low trend and a lower high trend coming to blows. On dips, I would sell put spreads or puts to own shares. And the earnings are May 25th, so you can sneak in a couple more trades. Not a lot to do here on this one. All right. The list does not have teams, so I will put team down below and zoom down below. I'm long both via credit put spreads or sold puts, and I think they're both okay for now. Okay, KRE was a question. This is a small bank, regional bank ETF. This is where the crisis was nailed, and if this was the holy crap, the world's coming to an end for this sector, and they're still on the bottom. Two questions for you. Is it time to fall apart? Like, are we going to have a second leg of this crisis? Because technically, if you lose this low, you're going to 35 or lower. Why would it do that? I thought the crisis was under control. So if that is correct, like if they mean it that the crisis is under control, then this should be a base and we should get to 48 in the next couple of months. But what if they are lying to us? So keep that in your back pocket. So I would be more courageous selling puts on dips at the risk of getting assigned shares than to buy calls and hope. If I'm buying shares for the long term, okay, but you should be realistic with your expectations. Maybe they were very overpriced and this crisis just brought them back to reality. For example, what the hell was that? Okay, so if this was normal, 2019, and then we fell off a cliff for the pandemic, and then we came back, and now we're back here. So this was when the world ended, and they're pretty down here. So as an investment, if you're patient, it makes sense. Okay, we have not had Tesla yet, and we're not going alphabetically because the orders are coming in fast and furious. GoPro and Tesla, I added them to the list. All right, so we've done Home Depot, Snow, KRE, and we were up to WYNN. Okay, this stock is not an obvious point of entry. When it rallied this much going into a prior fail, for me, I would book profits and say thank you for the profits. Shorter term, the trend is still in the hands of the buyers, so don't fight that trend. In other words, it's not necessarily a short. It's just a hard start long. For me, if it falls down closer to 100, I might be interested. Also, look into any headlines from China. Like, is this a Macau headline thing? But look at it. I mean, look at all these sellers potentially waiting up here. So not an obvious entry point for WYNN. CLF. Hey, Gint. I see you. All right. Let's see here. CLF. It looks like it's in the hands of the sellers. I turned on Wolf Wave here, and I should have not. It's very busy, these little lines here. Ignore them if you can. Falling into a prior base. Is it a bottom? I don't know. It's falling into a buyer's area. So if you're shorting it, maybe you should get out. They did lose this, which is kind of scary technically. I can see it falling to 13.2, 13.5. Even if it has support at 15. So it does have support around 15. If they lose that after a bounce, they may drift to 13.5. I don't know much about the industry, so be realistic with that. Technically, it's not pretty. I think they're going to sell rallies. If it gets to 17 and that gets you out of trouble, let's say I'm long and it gets back to 17 and suddenly my long is back to even or a little bit red, I would get out. That's my personal preference on that one. Okay, I'm not saying anything about earnings. This one looks like it has earnings soon, so everything I tell you is out the window. The earnings reactions is a coin flip, short term. I don't care how well they did in the quarter or badly. It's how people will react to it. Like if most people expect a huge day, a huge report out of it, then Vikram, I'm on YouTube. Look up. Whoops. So scroll up. There you go. Thank you. So if a lot of people expect good things and they come out with okay things, they're going to have a disappointing reaction. If a lot of people expect disasters and they come up with bad but not disaster, they might pop. So not a good chart without a headline that's conducive. So AMD next. All right, so it's off the highs, that's good. It's falling into support, that's good, except that the support is a big area. So it could easily fall to 78 or 80, and it would still be in the hands of the bulls. Why? Look at it, they're buying dips, if you look at it this way. Higher lows, higher highs, dip into the beginning of January, that it was bought. A dip into the March crisis was bought, and this drift lower, you can consider that a dip, will probably be bought, and if so, 112 is the eventual target, but from what starting point? Okay, so that's the goal. I I would be comfortable selling puts into AMD as it falls. The harder it falls, the better. So if the mega tech companies freak Wall Street out and they fall hard, and we're not learning anything new, like Amazon is not telling me that they got cut in half as far as sales, then I would be more likely to buy the dip by selling puts in AMD. Okay, don't forget to hit the like button if I answer your question and you like the not the message, but if you like the delivery process. Like, don't hate me for delivering bad news, but if you get clarity on the chart, that would be good. It just tells me we're doing right, and if you hit the thumbs down, that's fine. It just tells me to do better. Okay. What is this? Microsoft. What do they do? Never heard of them. Same comment. It's in a buy the dip mode. Tom, I'll get to your ticker at the end. I'll add them here. CCI and CPE. Pretty choppy. So Microsoft running into a prior fail from August of last year. So the QQQ and the Microsoft should move together. It is also the second largest influence mathematically behind Apple on the S&P. So I can see it falling to 270 towards 270 and 265 and still be in the hands of the bulls. So I will be looking to buy that dip if it happens. Otherwise, a breakout from 295 area should eventually take out 320. But the 320, that 295 area is a battle since last year, summer and May of last year. You can see the inverse head and shoulders and look at the size of it. This is one shoulder, this is another shoulder, and they're building the third shoulder maybe. So any dip into support, and support is scattered everywhere. Same as the S&P. If they come back and make higher highs than last week and last August, the bears are going to be in trouble because they're going to break out, drop, continue this buy the dip, and take out this one eventually. So this is the story of the whole market right here. And this week is pivotal. I don't know if they report this week or not. If not this week, next week. So we also have next week Fed meeting, I believe. Okay, so on YouTube we're delayed about 3 seconds, so don't freak out. If you hear me in our live room and you say, "Hey, I'm not in sync," hi Kamal. FCNCA, I don't know what that is. I'll add it to the end. FCNCA. That's a long ticker. Did I skip one? I did AMD. No, BABA is next. I'm going by order of posts in here, not alphabetical or anything. So BABA I don't trade anymore. The last two trades were perfect. I don't want to trade Chinese stocks because I really don't know what's going on in China. So you can see this is a very wide trade. And I hear that they're taking away from BABA business into like purchases from, consider purchases from inside of Instagram to take away from Amazon and TikTok to take away from BABA. That's what I heard this weekend from one of the members. I'm not an expert. All I know, this is strong support into 80. If you lose 80, you're probably going to go to 64 again. Likely, I don't know. It looks like a pretty hard bounce. This is a support zone. So if I'm starting to short here, I better have a good reason. I have not done Bill yet. Bill is right after BABA. So next. Rallies into 96 and 100 would probably find sellers. If they take out 105, this one, they might get to 116. And I don't know when BABA's earnings are. So here's if I'm starting to short here, I might be in trouble because there should be support scattered from here to 80. If you lose 80, look out below, but that doesn't look like it's feasible. BABA still has a good P&L. Bill is next. That's Bill.com. Okay, so overall, not a pretty chart, but let's see shorter term. You have a higher low trend trying to break out. So look at these two arrows, this one and that one. The bulls are trying to mount a comeback. And this is the biggest fail with a lot more. I think 80 is more important than that 82 line. If you take out 80 convincingly and drop a little bit and then take out the place from which you fell, then I think you can get to 86. But I don't know the fundamentals, so you should study it. Last I checked, I think it was okay. Yeah, the P&L is not bad. It's a small company. They lose a lot of money. So the P&L is similar to something like Palantir. Since I'm long Palantir, I'm not tempted at all to be engaged in this one at all. So pick your battle. Make sure, like, to look before you invest into Bill, look into your portfolio and see what else you have that looks like it. Not necessarily a competitor, that looks like it. A growing company that spends a lot, and it will be evaluated as a risk assessment by Wall Street the same way. I think they will, both of these. American Express is next. I missed this dip. I would have sold puts. We were long American Express and short American. We shorted American Express. It fell. We went long on the dip. They both won. And now I can re-engage. How? I'm not sure. Whenever somebody reacts big time to it, I'm going to take the opposite. Let's see here. I don't have any clarity as far as trade right away. All I know is you got a hard buyer of below 156 and a hard seller going into 168. Ping pong between those two. If they take out the recent high, they should get to 172 or 175. If they fall again towards this wick right there, which extends from 158 to 54, I would be tempted to go long again. One note, it's underperforming Visa and MasterCard, and I wonder why. Just a side note. Okay, relative to itself. That's what I mean. Okay, BIDU's next. In case you're looking for tickers, we're going to have BIDU, FRC, ET, 3M, Amazon, NVDA, Shop, Team, Zoom, Tesla, GoPro, CCI, CPE, FCNCA coming up next. If we have time. Hurry up, Nick. You're wasting time reading them off. Hey, easy. 57 likes, slackers. Don't let me beat you. All right, so BIDU. Same thing about BABA. I don't like to trade Chinese stocks because I'm missing a lot of the Chinese headlines. BIDU, they are buying dips, so I would imagine they have buyers into 119. They could bounce to 135 or 137 and fail again. Them losing this last week, not being able to hold the 125 is concerning to me. So if I take out the overnight sessions to show you, to get some clarity, this is a daily, no overnight sessions. Strong buyer into 115, plus or minus $2 or $3. Very volatile. That's a lot of volatility. So my instinct is that this area here is a buy the dip area, like strong support zone. So as you're falling into it, if I had a short, I will be closing it out. It's tempting to wait out this, but I think you're playing with fire because the bounce is going to be hard if it comes. So it's a better long than a short at this point. That is my assessment from a trading perspective. Okay, Nick, come on, extended hour. There we go. I don't know when their earnings are, so do your homework on that one. FRC, we traded the panic well on the drop. If you were in the room, I sold 1250 puts, and then it fell through it, and then back up. Anyway, the 1250 puts paid. I sold puts much lower. It also paid, and I haven't done anything since. So it looks like they stabilized inside of a short-term range, and if indeed I'm brave, I could sell puts in it down here at the risk of getting assigned and blown out. So do your homework on its cash situation, and that it's safe from another run on the bank. If you want to get scared, go read the story on Credit Suisse, how much outflows it suffered in like why it almost went out of business. The numbers are like mind-blowing. So make sure that this one can survive something like that. A run on the bank will kill the bank. I don't care how big the bank is. So be careful with that. Okay. So FRC, I'd be willing to trade it. Investment-wise, you're going to have to do homework. Trading is tough right now. You need a lot of courage. And I would use the low here, like 12 or lower, as pretty attractive opportunity. So I'm going to look into it this week to see if there's any premium I can sell for income at the risk of getting assigned. ET. J, we'll see if we can add it at the end. AS. Somebody's a fan. Oh my gosh. ASFC. I don't know if I'll get to it, but we'll try. Okay, we are at Energy Transfer Partners. Nick needs a new mouse. Buyers at 1250 if they're lost, 1210 entry, and then sellers at 13. If they lose that line, it goes to 1340. So ping pong. Is it that exciting? I mean, how are you trading this guy? Does it pay interest or something? Anyway, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued what you guys are doing with that. 3M. I'm not trading 3M. Looks like a headline stock. Has buyers below 103.5. Anything below 103 is strong support. If the bulls are able to take out 107.4, they might get to 110. So you have a buyer at 99, a seller above 111, and then I just gave you shorter time frame. Make sure that you know that there's earnings coming, and the coin flip aspect of that are crazy. Amazon also has earnings. I'm a fan of Amazon. I'm worried about Amazon and the world based on what Amazon says. So let me take out the lines. And here's the problem with Amazon. Let me turn off this wolf wave. It's so obstructive. I'm a fan of the company. I think it's a good gauge about consumer spending in the U.S. And if it tells me that consumer spending is taking a big hit, then I would reassess my optimism about the U.S. economy. Okay? This is a hideous spike. Why? It makes it impossible to rally from it without a big headline. So taking out 117 or 118 is going to be a monster task. If they do, they're going to fly. Earnings this week. If it dips, I'll be looking to buy the earnings, but I'm afraid about the message. So I'll be happier when they deliver an easy message. Meanwhile, it's a buy the dip mode for me, where anything below 100 and definitely anything close to 90. If they lose 90 or 88, I'll be shocked. But if that happens, that means, I would have to reassess their message for sure. And if the message is not that scary, I definitely need to renew my mouse. What is up with that? So if you lose this one, I don't want to even discuss it, because that means the market is falling 200, 300, 400 points. That's my assessment on that. Amazon itself is a fantastic company, running into hideous resistance. If I'm long, I would book it before the earnings. Take a blanket long if you want on the earnings, or short using the QQQ. Joseph, look at you. Oh, nice. Thanks for the fight there, Joseph. I appreciate it. Cisco, adding it to the bunch. All right, this is the Amazon. NVDA. Again, what do they do? NVIDIA has done so well that it's scary compared to. So let me show you the lines on NVIDIA that we had. We saw disaster from here months ago before it dropped to our target. We hit the target on the head. On the way back, I thought they would stall at 220, but they didn't, because they triggered an inverse head and shoulders where they went to the target, but their shoulder, head, shoulder. They went to the upside target and then some. So now it's vulnerable. See that? So if it drops to 220, believe it or not, it's target 1. And 190 is target 2. But I don't need both targets to be hit. So it's a buy the dip mode. It's not a long here going into a prior fail, but it's definitely not a short. So thank you. Smashed. Vulnerable, yes. Buy the dip mode, yes. But the dip area is huge. So you're going to have to tell me what speed you are at. I'll give you shorter term. You lose 262, you might get to 250 or 248. 244 is an area where it would have support from this area here. So anything below 248 is intriguing to me. I would probably sell a put spread if you force me. Meanwhile, it is it rallied too much. It needs a little dip to establish a better base, which is concerning about going AMD long, because it's going to follow this guy. Shopify, I'm a fan. I think I had my long I had trades long and they paid out last week. I'm pretty sure they expired for maximum gains in our favor. I'm looking to repeat it. Any serious dip, I'm a buyer of Shopify. Earnings soon. If they drop on earnings hard, the harder they drop, the longer I get. We saw this coming. It played out. Now they're going back into an area of failure. And by the way, this was the earnings reaction box from last time. We're going into earnings this time from the box of reaction from last time. Look how wide that thing is. So it just tells you it shouldn't be easy. It's a good company. It shouldn't be easy. So I'm a buy the dip guy here. Team, I do have a trade on Team. I think it's not easy yet. But let's see. It's about the same as when I entered it. So I'm staying in it for now. Unless we get into earnings. I'm pretty sure it expires before the earnings. My bet. Let me see here. Yep. This bet expires this week, so I'm tempted to take it off completely just in case they pre-announce or something. It's evenish green, so I don't want to fight the fight. I believe it was at 144, the risk, sold put. So I'll see. It has risk to come down to cover the gap here. Stuck, lower highs, higher lows, earnings coming, drum roll. Overall, if by some chance they go above 188, 189, they can get to 240. Meanwhile, it's a buy to dip into 120. I'm going to put an alert here to say, hey, Team is buy. I did this long, not because I like the company, it's because somebody asked for it. Careful, that used to be a Kramer fave. And these days, he's got a 100% hit on inverse. Everything he likes crashes, literally, including the space shuttle. Luckily, it was unmanned. Unpersoned. Okay. Who is this? Zoom. Like the company fundamentals, Wall Street hates it. What is going on, right? I'm long. Let me see. Where is my long? I'm under fire. My long is at 59, so I still have room before I get in trouble, and it expires in 18 days. So we'll see how that works out. Okay. Is Apple on the list? Believe it or not, Apple is not on the list. Joseph, we will do Apple. Hey, Lori. Oh, I appreciate it. You're welcome. Apple is not on the list. The king of stocks. If Zoom loses that area from December, it probably goes down to the low 60s. Like in the lower 60s, close to 60. What is going on? This P&L is pretty good. I mean, when a company name goes to be a verb, it should be a shoo-in good for the long term, right? Let's Zoom this meeting. So I don't know what is going on. Patience, I think as an investment, it's hard to see when it's at the all-time low. And the revenues are not off a cliff. They're growing still. So conundrum, why do they hate it so much? That's a concern. Don't fight the fight too harshly and don't add. If I'm long, I'm not adding. If I'm looking to get long, I nibble and I put a stop. Tesla. So I've been saying EVs are not the solution, whereas the whole world thought I'm an idiot. So now I'm seeing more and more smart people come my way saying this EV thing, how are you going to make it happen? That's my question. But I always say, unless they're hiding a solution for batteries already, and they do that. They hide big technology changes until fiscally it makes sense for the people that are controlling the thing. So there is no way on the planet car companies like GM and Ford and all the other global car companies say yes to EVs unless they know for a fact they have an alternative battery technology. So for me, Tesla is the king of EVs right now and is the only company that is making money selling EVs. So if you want to invest in the EV revolution, Tesla is it. I'm long Tesla by a sold put, and I'm making a little money on it. That's like my 5th sold put that makes money, and that's the only way I'm trading Tesla. I don't own calls. I'm not buying upside hope. I'm just selling fear to those who are panicking. Having said that, if it loses the low 160s, it could come down to 152 to 148 pretty quickly. So scalp longs if you can, and buy the dip mode for me. Okay. Let's see here. This is Tesla. Next is GoPro and CCI. So Tesla is Sell the rally into 180. It's going to find resistance. It is in a support that should hold, must hold. If you lose last week's lows, you're going to come down to 152 and 148, and it'll be normal. So don't freak out. I will resell puts if that happens. Okay. We are CCI, GoPro. GoPro is fundamentally is not great. In the past, I've gone long as it fell below 5 and I made money, but now it has no more support until like years ago. When is that? Okay, the pandemic area, October 2020. So now it's vulnerable to fall because there's no support until way back then. And the older the support or resistance, the less effective it is right now. So it needs a headline of sorts. I don't know when they report earnings, so align yourself with that. I said take it long as a flyer, but it's definitely not an investment, so I'm not going to add to it. So if I took a long and it didn't work out, I should stop out based on my risk tolerance. So if I risk 2,000 or 1,000 and I said to myself, I don't want to lose more than 30%, I should stop myself out. I don't add. This was a trade, speculative trade, because the fundamentals are not that great. I think it's a buyout candidate. Anybody that has self-driving technologies, robots flying, whatever, they need good eyeballs, good cameras. Well, this makes good eyeballs, so they might buy it. Apple should buy it, do something with it. I hear the Apple cameras are not good from Apple users. You know who you are. Okay, CPE, petroleum. I'm not a fan of oil companies. I've shorted them successfully, all except one time, one put on Exxon, only one. I've shorted them like 20 times, lost one time. Just finished shorting Chevron successfully. Okay, so this one is stuck in the middle. You have a hard seller up into the 38s, a hard buyer down into the 30s. Ping pong between the two. Meanwhile, if you look at it, they're selling rallies. Rally sold, rally sold, rally sold, rally is selling. So if this selling continues and sets a new low, it could get to 26 and it will bounce back to 34. So this is the crucial part. They need to break out of the prior fail, which is 39, before they lose the prior bounce, which is 29. So 39 or 29 first. Every sell-off, they try to hold the bottom and they made a new low. Okay? All right. Only 80 likes, you slackers. Last time they beat you. All right. Just saying, if you're a competitor, you're losing. CPE was that? Okay, having fun with that. FCNCA. What is that? First Citizen Bank shares. Wow, that's a long ticker. I'm trying to save money on ticker. Wow, what is this? Oh, goodness gracious. Where did you find this gem? I thought we were having a banking crisis. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's off to the races. Never been higher. So not an obvious entry point for an investment. It feels like you missed something. If I'm not long, I'm not getting long here, especially not going into earnings. So let's see here. Prior earnings reactions are mixed. We have 2 pops, 1 drop, 3 pops, 1 drop, 3 pops, 2 drops. So about a coin flip. Buy the dip into 920 or 880, I guess. You don't see charts like this often, so it's more about learn the story, learn the fundamentals. Charts are not going to be helpful. ASFS. Good luck with that. Come out. ASFC. Did I get this wrong? I missed the ticker. Fix me on the ticker. I don't know what this is. Cisco. I know Cisco. All right, so the drop in Cisco we saw coming, I believe, because this was a harmonic that played out. So Cisco is falling into support. It's a zone. It extends through 44. Hey, Dave. So a bounce will find sellers into 51. So let's say it bounces from this area. It's going to find sellers from 50 to 51. And if that's the case, when it fails from there, if it loses this bounce area, it may come down to the low 40s, which would be a pretty good starting point. So now you have sellers above, buyers below, and the buyer zone is extended through 39. So as it falls into it, if it continues to fall, it'll be a nice opportunity to get long. As a trading comment. Now fundamentally, this is a different story. This is a dinosaur that survived many, many things, so don't short it with conviction. It's a survivor, okay, .com, etc. Devandra, I'm sharing on YouTube, so make sure to jump to YouTube. I'm almost done. We're doing our charting session live since I didn't do one yesterday. And we'll switch back to here when the movie starts, when the session opens. ASFC, yeah. Blitz, fix me on that ticker. ASFC, yeah. Cisco, so, oh, we're done? What? No, ASML. Chip stock, correct? No. I don't know what that is. Yeah, it is. I did not do ALB. We'll do ALB. ASML would have a buyer above 700. If you can take out 700, even though it has sellers just above that, I think you can get to 800. Inverse head and shoulders much higher than 800 target. But the thing is, they're buying dips in this short-term trend. And you have buyers scattered all the way through to 525. Let's go shorter term. This is an ADR, it looks like. So shorter term, they have the sellers are trying to take hold. So 656 area tough, 680 area tougher, 620 area support. Lose that, you get to 597, 598. Better starting point. So they're selling rallies on the short-term basis. So if you hold this and you break out of 650, that's a good first move on the bulls to say, okay, we're done falling now. And this is about, target 2 on this harmonic is about 605, to give you an idea. Oh, Apple, yes. Let's go to Apple and then ALB. Apple, they're buying dips on a short-term basis, going into earnings for the mega techs. I don't think Apple reports this week. They report next week, but it will move with whoever reports this week. So if Microsoft reports soon, which I think is Tuesday or Wednesday, then Apple will move accordingly. So if you wanted to bet on the mega techs that report this week, it's probably better to bet. One idea would be to use Apple for next week, because then your premiums will hold up better. If whoever reports this week rallies, Apple will rally with them, and it will be better if it goes the other way. We're 87 likes. I'm not going to do anything until we hit 100. Let's do it. Can we hit 100 likes so that YouTube would send me I Heart YouTube sticker? And then I'll ring the bell, even though I'll wake up my entire house. It's 6:10 a.m. here. Can you do that? We're 90. Come on, you can do better than that. I'll tell you who's next. ALB. We'll do Microsoft again, even though I did it earlier. Let's go. 93. I'm waiting. I'll take a sip of water. CLF Frickman, we did first, 98. 2 more. We hit 100. Okay, I'm not looking. 99, and I'm reaching for the belt. Okay, we're going. ALB. Back to Apple. This is the king of stocks. So what happens to Apple is happening to the market. Really, there's nothing, thank you, Kamal. There's nothing about it that's broken. And if, let's say Microsoft rallies this week, Apple will rally a little bit less though, but it will rally. Let's say Microsoft drops and you had bet up on Apple. Apple premiums will drop, but not as much if you use next week's, because its earnings are coming. So the premiums will hold value. In fact, the implied volatility may increase as we approach the earnings. So that will help time decay against you. Hey, William. Nice seeing you this weekend, by the way. Okay. I told you somebody called you handsome, right? They say, who's that handsome guy? Something about a spa. I was like, wait, I don't know. Like, oh, William, handsome? Really? Nah, just kidding. Okay, ALB. So I think this is a micro cap, and it's a good trader because everybody's interested. Be careful mixing a trading stock and an investment. If you started looking at it for trading purposes, don't dig your heels in, turn it into an investment. I don't know anything about it. All I can tell you is that area of 187 to 138 is a big fight from before. As it's falling into it, it should provide support. Now, I want to caution you against rallies into 220 should find sellers. And if the sellers are able to bring it back and lose 171, I think it goes to 100, maybe even lower. This is the big picture. Let's drill down to see shorter term. The warning again is, if you started trading it because it trades well, be conscious of getting suckered into investing in it. I don't know anything about its fundamentals. I doubt they're good. Well, they're not bad, actually. Just be sure you're aware of it, okay? Rallies into 210 and 20 are selling opportunities. When they curl down from those, you want it to hold last week's low. Otherwise, you're going down to 150 or 140. So because now they're starting to sell rallies. Rally sold, rally sold, rally sold, rally sold, rally sold. And they lost the 220 area. They lost this. This area now becomes a problem. 220 to 228. Big problem. Be careful. INMD. INMD. Is that a small company? Okay, small sales, but decent P&L, I guess. All right, let's zoom out since I don't know it. All right, you have a big seller at 42.5. That's a lot of resistance. Eventually, if you take that out, which happened back in February, then you can get to 50 maybe. I mean, they're pretty much in open air. The zone above it is resistive, but they don't have a hard line except this one. And buy the dip mode into 32.50. That's the big picture. If I zoom in, let me see if I can get you more information. The buyer's in charge. I don't know when the earnings are. Make sure to be aware of that. There they are. Early May. So 39 could get you 40, 41, 42. And that's the big test right there. So small test at 39, bigger test up here. Buy the dip mode. If they fall into 33-ish, 34, 33, it's interesting from a trading perspective. Okay, what else do we have? Tickers. Did I miss one? I got Apple, ALB, we did that. Everything is green? Okay, I haven't looked at the futures. Let's go. It doesn't matter because it's all about earnings, folks. So whatever the earnings reaction will be, we're flat. What do you mean everything is green? Qs and IWM. Okay, IWM. So the tech are rallying, and that's not usual. Usually they take away from each other. The week where they both rally at the same time is the week where the bears are in trouble overall, I think. SPX. Hey, Sandman. SPX, I can do it blindly. You have a couple of resistance lines above. They're about 70 points higher. And you have support scattered into the next 350 points below. So the SPX story is about earnings reaction this week. We have one line to beat above. If you want round numbers, 42 versus 41. And if we leave 42, 45 will definitely come before 35. I've been saying, you know, the easy statement, where is this market going? 45 before 35. That's like the big statement. 42 is a line that if the bears lose, they're going to get shellacked a little bit here. Okay, we can look at Intel. We looked at AMD and NVDA. Why not Intel? Sell the rip mode on this short term. Midterm is they're giving up some of the rally. So if you're a believer in Fibonacci, machines are, so you should be too. They're approaching the 50%. So if I were to draw a box, I would put around 30.5 and 28. There should be buyers in there. 30.5 and 28. Devon, I am a short of every rally in oil stocks, and I've won on all of them. Recently, Chevron. Devon, if not above 58, I think it goes to 45 again. If it loses 45, it goes to 32.5. It's not a forecast. I'm just telling you they're selling rallies. Rally sold, rally sold. This one made a higher high. But since then, every rally has been sold. More importantly, they lost the pivot here. Look at it. I can draw. Let me see. Do I have lines? Look at it. Perfect. So this was my forecast. It came to fruition. And I said, beware of a repeat of said forecast in the orange. And they're drawing the orange. They're right here in the orange. If they don't come back and beat 60 and stay above 58, 59, I think they are at risk of curling again and retesting. And if they lose the test, which should be good support, they might come down to 36. So be careful. Intel earnings, the last earnings message, I gave up on Intel. I said, I'm not trading ever Intel again. Okay, Oxy. Let me see here one day and see where our buddy Buffett is. They have good support below. And the opportunity to break out from 66, 67, 68 could get you back into the high 70s, mid to high 70s. I'm not hopeful for that, but I am definitely not shorting it. There is a headline looming from Buffett. How come it hasn't come? The SEC told him he can do whatever he wants with it, basically, that he can increase his stake to 50%, and he hasn't done that. So that headline looms. That's why I shorted CVX, not it. CVX is less of a headline stock. Short-term, Oxy has a seller at 63 and 64. I would not chase it long into that. I would buy the dip if it falls to 59. As a trade, not an investment. If you're an investment person, just make sure that you're not adding without any good reason. If you lose 61.4, you will definitely come to 59. TSM, Taiwan, semi. Not touching anything made in Taiwan because of the headline, extra risk from the skirmish headline between the US and Taiwan. Good company. The industry has enough headlines. I don't need another political headline on top of it. For example, if I go long NVIDIA, I know I'm going long NVIDIA, the market shortages. If I go long Taiwan Semi, I'm going along the same risk as NVIDIA, and on top of it, some headline risk. Why would I want that? If it falls apart, technically, yes, I'd be interested. Now, it's fighting for a level. If they lose the level they're at, they might come down to 74 and 72. It would be more compelling. Long. Has sellers at 92, 96, and 199. TTD, the trade desk. Can't remember what they do again. Are they an online payment in Brazil or something? No. Engage provision technology for advertising. Oh, okay. What is the other one that's online payments in Brazil? I keep confusing them. Okay, this is not a starting point for me, technically. The bulls are in charge, but what is this? So that is, I think there's a lot of sellers hiding just below 68. So if they can break out of 68-ish, they can probably try to break out of this even harder seller zone of 77. Higher lows is good. Buy the dip would be good. If it falls into 52 or 50, it would be compelling as a trade. I'll put an alert. I don't know if I traded it recently. Earnings. When are earnings? May 11th, so be careful. All right, we're coming up on the 10-minute mark. In 10 minutes, all of you people that are here that are not regular members are going to get cut off because we have to switch and finish the day trading live all day, every day with only members. Lori, I'll get to that. So I continue sharing my charts, minus my picture, live for the gang all day, every day. If you like that, you're going to love the intraday setups applied. And there would be no delay on the live session. So rallies into 117, Lori, you're going to find sellers and 118. Until they take out 118, I don't think they can do much. Taking out 118 will spill them back up into 123, 122, where you repeat the same message. And then again against 25. If you fall into 108, you get long with a stop, because if you lose 108, you're going to probably fall to 102. I think it hit target 1 of this green thing you see here, a harmonic. So, Raghu, you made it. I met a lot of people this weekend, a lot of members. We got together face to face. I can't remember where we were. Arizona. We were in Arizona. Okay. Melly, good company. It's a buy to dip mode for me. Too high for my blood up here. Too rich for my blood, as I say. Too high for my taste. Down here would be an area of buy to dip mode. As a trade. As an investment, it's a different story. This is not an obvious entry point for the investment. If I'm long, it's definitely not an obvious entry point to add longs. The closer to 1100, the better. It may not get there, but the closer to that is the better. If you get lucky under 1000 before, like I know people came to me down here, and I hope to God that they jumped in. I told them it's an area that is pretty cheap for that stock. If you believe in the recovery of the environment of the whole market, then this would be a bargain, and they would have doubled their money. I sure do. I hope they went in. Look at it on a daily basis. Are they in an ascending channel? So they should be buying dips. So the next dip is a buy opportunity, not runaway opportunity. Yes. Okay. So this is the story on this guy. Let's see here. You like my picture? Okay. Raghu, good morning. What's the name of that restaurant we went to? We were trying to remember the name. If you tell me in the live room. The cheap Mexican place. That was good food. Real cheap. Really? Madrigal? If you're in the Phoenix area, that's great food. Bargain. WBD. Warner Brothers. Okay. So is this the spin-off of AT&T? Hi, Patrick. We're in YouTube. We'll be back here in 6 minutes. So if this is the case, it looks like it's not doing very well. But on a daily basis, I'll give you the lines. Hard sellers in the box that says hard sellers. If you want a line, 16.5, and buyers into that zone. So if you lose 13.3, you're probably going to get to 12, and it better stop here. Otherwise, what lies below? So you have to pay attention to that. Shorter, and earnings are coming. Oh boy. Okay. So I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know their fundamentals. They are selling rallies. So if you get a rally to 14.2 and 14.4 and you're actually trading it, I would get out at the risk of bleeding lower into 13 or 12.8. I have a question to myself here. Entry question mark? Do I want to get long down here? Maybe I'll ask myself that if it gets there. Okay, I think I got caught up. Intel and TSM. Akram, I can't believe it, dude. It happened to you again. If you're in this room and you have not hit the like button, get the heck out. You're not my friend. Or put the thumbs down. Tell me what you really think. If you don't like it, put the thumbs down so we get better. But if I know where you live. No kidding. Nobody's forced to be here, but I appreciate you being here. SMCI drops on pre-announcement. There you go. Oh, goodness. What did they say? Look at that. Wait, I have lines. Check this out. These are my lines that are set for SMCI. Are you kidding? It's doing exactly what I said it would do. Hi, Dave. Down 10%. Okay, so anybody know fundamentals on SMCI? I know you guys, these look like good fundamentals. They pre-announced what? What was the message? I think I would want to go long on this one. I'm going to add it. Add SMCI to my trading. Earnings miss. Yeah, but you know me. Don't care about that. 4 minutes before we shut down, and I'm gonna shut down at just before the bell. So let's look at SMCI. Look at this. This was my path, and ups and downs are forecastable in this stock. So this dip, which is down here, is an opportunity because it's falling into support, regardless of what they said. I will sell puts into this one to own shares if I can safely, or if not, I will sell a put spread. Now the problem is when it bounces, because it's right here right now, it's going to find sellers. So I'm not going to be buying calls, but I would be definitely looking to buying puts, or selling puts or put spreads. So in other words, when somebody's freaking out, we would step up to the plate to catch that falling knife. So when we switch over to the live, we're going to look into an iron condor for the gang that expires today. That makes 20% hopefully. And we're going to look into a few trades of stocks that are falling, leaving room, because we have mega caps reporting, and it's going to be really, really scary, the reactions. Hopefully, one reacts up, one reacts down, one reacts up, one reacts down, and they all wash each other out. That would be great. Watch out for the VIX. It's making higher highs, but the VXN isn't. So the fear of the VIX, the fear in the Nasdaq is less severe than the fear in the S&P, which is pretty weird. It should be the other way around, right? Nope. Microsoft just took a spill, probably in sympathy. It's at 282. Lower than Friday's low. Alphabet isn't. So if you want a telltale sign, track Alphabet GOOGL 106. That would be a trigger for it. Hi, Jacob. Okay. Tesla 165.66 should be a killer level, like a lot of sellers. If you clear 166 in Tesla, before 161.3, that means the sellers in Tesla are exhausted. I'm long Tesla. I will be closing on this rip. I'm long, like I told you last week. I sold puts after the earnings dip, and I'm profitable-ish in it, and I will close it. It's a trade, and I'll reopen it on the next tizzy. Okay, folks. YouTube, thank you very much for being here. Hit the like button before you leave, please, so we can rank higher, so we can get more people in here. We will repeat this, so subscribe and hit the bell on the YouTube so you can get notified next time we go live unannounced. That's it. We have 6,600 subscribers on YouTube. It's time to get them engaged more often. Be part of it. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for the tickers. We did, what, 25 tickers maybe? 30 seconds to ding ding. All right, so we're going to sign off of here. And we are shutting it down, folks. Shutting it down. Later, members, back to the live room. Non-members, hit us up through the comment section if you don't know how else. This will be recorded, and become members. Later. Bye.